PSA, Mark Zuckerberg might be pulling the biggest tax avoidance scheme of all time. I like turtles. Response 1.
I don't trust him honestly. And of course this is for ulterior motives.
Deleted.
Could you give me some insight on his ulterior motives when he created Facebook?
Deleted.
Not to mention 65 mil is peanuts compared to what he's making now, where people are voluntarily giving FB their own personal info and have been for years. Take this quiz and give us your mother's maiden name to see what color represents you.
But what was Facebook worth at the time?
Facebook was worth $15 billion at the time when the settlement was offered, and $70 billion when the settlement was accepted.
Response 2.
So basically the same thing every other billionaire does. Too bad. Read up on IKEA if you want to see some truly disturbing tax avoidance by a non-profit.
Holy shit, till IKEA is a non-profit.
The interesting read.
Holy fuck, this is like a final exam in economics. I have no idea what any of this means.
Response 3.
Assuming he follows the law, it's really not tax avoidance, it is charity. He can run the foundation but he can't benefit financially.
I'm not sure how running the foundation filled with all of his money and not benefiting from it are different. Can you explain? Deleted.
Have you noticed that many rich families have foundations? They donate highly appreciated stocks, just like Op said, avoiding taxes plus getting a deduction, which is the ultimate double dip. Then they hire family and friends to be on the board and as lawyers, accountants, investment consultants, charity researchers, office help, etc. And they're only required to pay out 5% of the value of the investments each year. The killer is they then ask others to donate to their foundation. This is not unlike all these presidential campaigns that get tax-free millions and hire friends and family in high-paid positions.
I'm pretty sure that in addition to giving your family no-show jobs, you can give scholarships to your nieces and nephews.
Response 4.
Nothing wrong with using the government's charity incentives to your best advantage. I just wish he hadn't announced it in a saccharine letter to my daughter. That was a transparent PR move.
As much as they say the social network and the book it's based on is not accurate, the sociopathic aspect to Jesse Eisenberg's Zuckerberg I totally believe.
I didn't watch the film or read the book. I'm solely basing my distaste on the press release itself. I dislike that. It's framed like an open letter, but usually in an open letter the recipient isn't the last one able to read it. It's grandiose. We must. If society focuses more of its energy on these great challenges, we will leave your generation a much better world. It's just grating that the wealthiest people in the world think they get to decide on which challenges are worth society's energy. All that said, my complaint is about the manner of the announcement. It's also weird seeing a who's who of famous people showing up to pat him on the back, but that sorta follows from the medium. The substance of the announcement, which is that he plans to give most of his wealth to charity, is laudable and I have nothing bad to say about actual philanthropy.
Quote, it's just grating that the wealthiest people in the world think they get to decide on which challenges are worth society's energy. Well, given that society's energy amounts to what money and resources are thrown at an objective, the people that control the most money and resources pretty clearly get to decide where they go.
Good point. Like it or not, rich MFs control things. Which would people prefer, Zuckerberg or the Koch brothers?
Response 5.
Deleted.
Exactly. This thread is typical Reddit garbage.
This thread is far beyond typical Reddit garbage.
Response 6.
How exactly is this so distasteful? How is this any different from what Bill Gates did when he started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation?
Bill can jump over a chair.
It depends on the size of the chair.
Response 7.
There's an article about it in the WSJ too. I'm inclined to say that this guy has all the money he ever wants or needs, and has simply decided to copy what many others billionaires have done with the Giving Pledge. Whether he does that because he genuinely wants to help someone in need, or just to bask in all the praise he'll get, I don't know. But I doubt it's because he's really worried about taxes, when he can spend $1 million a day for the rest of his life and still not run out of money.
I agree. At what point do you even need any more money? He can have whatever materialistic thing he wants in a second and still not run out of money. While it might avoid some taxes, I'm pretty sure his family will be set financially forever no matter what.
Response 8.
Does PSA mean personal stupid assumption now?
Response 9.
Jesus, you people don't know shit about taxes. Did you really just link me to things like Wikipedia and beginner investment definition websites to draw conclusions about someone's multi-billion-dollar charity and personal finances? WTF, Reddit. Tax avoidance isn't a scheme. Tax avoidance is legal. Lastly, why do you think donating $44 billion to use for charitable purposes rather than paying 25% of it to the government makes him personally wealthier? He literally cannot use the money outside of charitable causes. Stop being dolts. You're hurting charities and non-profits. There's even donation deduction limitations. God, you people are frustratingly misinformed, and you're hurting America. Before you decide to take an opinion from this post because it appeals to the "I distrust people with money and power" side of you, I implore you to read about the following items. 1. IR's charitable constriction deduction limitations. From quote, "The amount you can deduct for charitable contributions cannot be more than 50% of your adjusted gross income. Your deduction may be further limited to 30% or 20% of your adjusted gross income, depending on the type of property you give and the type of organization you give it to. A higher limit applies to certain qualified conservation contributions. These limits are described in detail in this section." 2. Non-profit restricted fund usage. Full disclosure, I am not familiar with the website, but as a CPA, I am familiar with the rules. They summarize them fairly well. Quote, "Nonprofit corporations must not distribute profits to members, officers or directors. A nonprofit corporation cannot be organized to financially benefit its members, officers or directors. Quote, nonprofit corporations with a 501(c)(3) tax exemption cannot participate in or contribute money to political campaigns. If they do, the IRS can revoke their nonprofit status. I just want you people to think about the damage you cause to nonprofits when you discourage giving due to completely inaccurate information. It's in line with discouraging nonprofit business administration by using overhead restrictions because they shouldn't pay their CEOs any money, forcing them out of competition from obtaining the best of the best. We already live in a country that rewards someone for making a great computer game well over someone they helps teach low-income children. Why are we telling them how much they should pay CEOs? How much they should spend directly on their cause rather than their infrastructure? Who they should take money from due to political ideologies? The social white knighting media backlash management of nonprofits is hurting nonprofits because so many people don't know jack about running a multi-million-dollar business or about the tax code. So please, stop hurting America by spreading this propaganda. You're hurting not only America but nonprofits and the people that need it the most, those reliant on charity and non-profit organizations.
Response 10. Response 11.
I'm confused. Is the money still going to charity, to be used for good purposes? If so, what does it matter if he benefits from it? Isn't this just a win-win for him and the charities alike? What's the sinister part of this? I'm legitimately asking, a lot of this is a bit over my head.